Hello, everybody. It's time for our prediction show for Clash of Champions. That's Dalethea. I'm Travis, and you're watching
Saturday morning
WrestlingGab.
for WrestlingGab. Predictions for
Tomorrow night's Clash of Champions 2020.
Ooh, it's happening. Is everybody ready out there? Is everybody excited for it to happen? Or is everybody like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this.
Well, who wouldn't want to watch a pay-per-view?
Too funny.
So much exciting stuff. How many matches do we have?
Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 9 according
9
to CBS
matches.
Sports matches. Now that could change. They could add. They could take some out or whatnot. We do have Joven in the chat. We've got the
Joven,
Fiend in here.
Fiend.
We have Travis Scott, who is actually Travis.
That's me.
That's Travis, by the way. The Fiend is like, oh God, it's the guy who has the burger at McDonald's. I didn't even know he had a burger. We have Kato Jackson here this morning.
Kato.
And we have EvilBot with us. Okay, everybody.
Got a bunch of guys hanging out with us.
I'm going to give you the list of the matches that are supposedly happening.
That are confirmed.
These are supposedly confirmed, but we know that with WWE, anything can change.
Card is subject to change.
Yes, card is subject to change. So here are the matches. I'm going to list them out first, okay? So we have the WWE Championship, which everybody should know that's happening. Drew McIntyre, who's the champion, versus Randy Orton. Then we're also going to have the Universal Championship match between Roman Reigns, the champion, versus Jey Uso.
Those will be your main events.
Most likely
So
somewhere
we know that Asuka and...
Yeah, well, I'm going to run through the whole list of everything, and then we'll go back over everything again. We have the Intercontinental Championship of Jeff Hardy, who is actually the real champion, but everybody's like, oh, he cheated, and all that. And now we have Sami Zayn back.
Sami Zayn saying, hey, you know.
He's the champion.
He was stripped of his title for some odd reason, and they had a phony, a make-believe tournament to crown a new champion when it was his championship to begin with.
Exactly. So we have Jeff Hardy then against AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn, and that's actually going to be a ladder match. It's the only match that's actually in Clash of Champions that's different.
That doesn't have
That's
rules.
not just a regular match that they're going to have, unless they change something within the times. The SmackDown Women's Championship is happening tonight. That's Bayley, who's the champion, versus Nikki Cross. We have the Women's Tag Team Championship, which is Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler as the champions versus the Riot Squad.
That should be very interesting.
We have the Raw Tag Team Championships, which is the Street Profits, who are the champions, versus Andrade and Angel Garza. And then we have the United States Championship of Bobby Lashley as the champion versus Apollo Crews. We have the Raw Women's Championship, Asuka, who's the champion, versus Zelina Vega. And we have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura, the champions, versus the Lucha House Party. Okay, so we will probably begin with the kickoff match, because they are going to have one in the pre-show, which is really weird that it is, but at the same time I understand, because I look at it as the champion is not going to lose their title. That is the Raw Women's Championship, Asuka versus Zelina Vega.
Yeah, my thoughts on that one are weird, because it makes no sense. It's almost like the Uso match later on. That's about the same equivalent as Zelina Vega as Jey Uso.
It's kind of a weird match to have at Clash of Champions.
I feel like, with the Roman match, that they're probably setting that up for something bigger down the road. But this one is just to get somebody to have a match.
Yeah, and I guess maybe to put Zelina out there, because she kind of separated herself from the managers of Andrade and Angel, and they seem to be doing okay without her now, which is really weird.
Do you think that WWE will put the title on Zelina Vega?
No.
I just don't see it either.
I don't see it at this point. I mean, for one, this is her first time wrestling in how long that she's actually been wrestling? Because she wrestled before.
It's probably like her fifth match on the main roster total.
Right. I mean, and she probably wrestled down in NXT or... I think
she's
that's
a wrestler.
So she was a wrestler, and then when she came up, she literally became a manager. Like, you didn't see her.
She's a mouthpiece.
You never saw her for anything else but that. So I'm going to go with Asuka as my pick.
Well, yeah, Asuka's definitely going to win that. But, I mean, hypothetically, Asuka could get disqualified. or something, Zelina could win and not win the title.
Right. I'm saying that she's going to retain her title. Right. I'm going to say that Asuka is going to retain her title.
Right. And,
if I'm going with who's going to win the match, Zelina could possibly win it with a fluke. With something happening, like beating her up, whatever.
Maybe somebody comes back and attacks Asuka. Like, they make some sort of storyline.
Right. Okay, so you're going with Asuka retaining?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
There's no way Zelina Vega is going to be champion at the end of the pre-show. That is also the pre-show match. That's
that's why I did that one first. It's because it's going to be the kickoff match. It's going to be on the pre-show, and that's what's going to happen. How about you guys out there? Do you guys have any predictions on that one? The Fiend says Zelina Vega wins, because what if they are pushing Vega and her homies, Andre and Garza, to win the gold?
There you go. Have all of them.
So they just have all three of them, and then she goes back with them? I mean, my problem with that scenario is the fact that Zelina literally said, I'm done with this shit. I'm not going to deal with you two fighting and being kids and being children. You guys are going to have to figure out your shit by yourself. So she left Angel and Andrade to be their own thing. And what's weird about it is the minute she left, all of a sudden they aren't fighting amongst themselves.
Yeah, well, it's only been 1 week, but yeah.
But still, that whole thing was based on them not getting along. Uh-huh. She leaves and all of a sudden they don't have any problems with each other. Like, what the fuck, WWE? I'm sorry, but seriously, what the WTF right there on my end? Because I'm like, if you're going to push the fact that these two don't get along, and then why on earth would all of a sudden she's gone and now they get along? Just so they can get some titles? Yeah, no. I don't think so at all.
It's very interesting. Plus, the whole Zelina Vega thing, when she was / manager and she's poisoning people. Right?
Why didn't they play that up?
Bianca just ran through her like she was nothing.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 weeks in a row.
And now because she's mad?
And now she's going to be going after the championship. Why isn't Bianca?
Right. Why isn't Bianca?
Why isn't Bianca? Like, Bianca completely embarrassed Vega. Did Vega even land a move? And
was that just for that storyline that ended awkwardly and should have continued? Like, that should have continued. If they were looking at all of their, background, camera work and stuff like that, they should have had a full investigation of everything that she did and then have some weird twist at the end that he poisoned himself.
Or something, accidentally drank the wrong cup or something.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah.
But instead of playing that out like they could have to make it a better storyline and then have her get pissed at her people and leave, they didn't.
Because nobody believed in her or something.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have easily played that up.
Because they all thought she was like a poisoner.
Because she was so guilty.
And so everybody, every time anybody had a drink near her, they're like, don't come near my drink. I don't want to leave anything near her. She'll
like
steal it. Or
widow.
She's like the person who poisons other players in the game or something. I'm not saying that that's true, by the way. Zelina does not poison people. Don't think that's real.
She's very clean.
I'm pretty sure she does not. All right, which one do you want to do?
We'll do
the SmackDown one? Okay.
Tag Team
so the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, I'm going to say the people again. That's Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura, the champions, versus Lucha House Party. Now, I know a lot of people are like, Travis included, well, Cesaro and Shinsuke, they're just individual wrestlers and they're a tag team and blah, blah, blah. They've worked together since Sammy was part of their group, and then Sammy left and they've worked together since. They've never gone off on their own. They've never, separated. So in a way, they're kind of a tag team. Not like Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, who just like, here you go, and we're going to give you a title real quick.
Right.
Kind of stuff. So they have worked together in the past. It's not like they can't work together. They work together quite well, actually.
They're the champions.
And being the champions. Lucha House Party has their own internal turmoil going on. With Sin Cara coming back, there is a lot of hate and discontent. There was hate and discontent between, who are the other two guys?
I can't remember. You told me this morning.
Metalik.
Well, I know the Grand Metalik. And
Sin Cara is the one that came back.
And then the third one. I always have a hard time with his name. I can't remember.
So
it's like Dragon or Delgado or something.
Delgado, maybe? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Grand Metalik and the guy that stuck around, those two, were doing fine. And then they kind of had a little bit of a tiff. And then all of a sudden, Sin Cara came into the picture and everybody hates each other.
Yeah.
So my question...
Sin Cara is the Zelina Vega of
right.
the
So
group.
So my question now is, are they going to...
be a cohesive unit?
Are they going to be a cohesive unit? No. My question is, are they breaking up the complete Lucha House Party? Or are they just saying, Sin Cara, you got to go off on your own, and these guys are going to be the Lucha House Party? Because the Lucha House Party was all three of them all the time.
Yes.
Like, it was all three of them every single time, and they got along great. Sin Cara left with, everything was happening with Unicorn Sprinkles, and then all of a sudden he comes back, and I'm better than you, and I know what we should do.
In great shape. He's probably ready to be a singles competitor, and they've got to split that up.
So my question is how they're pushing Rey Mysterio's kid? Are they trying to put Sin Cara more along the lines of he's another Rey Mysterio? Well, not saying he's replacing Rey Mysterio by any means. I'm just saying that he's going to be the next Rey Mysterio in that sense that he's going to be the representative of the Luchas there on SmackDown, kind of thing.
The South American wrestlers.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
I mean, he's been around for long enough that if they were going to do that, he would already be that guy.
But he was always with a group. Was he a singles wrestler? So maybe they are just going back to him being a singles wrestler, and they're just like, hey, let's just put him as a singles wrestler, and he can do whatever he wants. Right. Anyways, so I personally think that Cesaro and Shinsuke are going to keep it because they're going to still be united, and I think the other part's going to implode.
Right. So Cesaro's a great tag team wrestler. We already know that. When he was with the Bar, he was the tag team champion.
Yeah.
I don't feel like they're going to take those titles off of these guys quite yet because I don't feel like they're ready to put them on House Party.
Right.
But that's just my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Cesaro and Nakamura.
Okay.
Nakamura just decimated poor Metalik on Friday anyways.
Yeah.
And Nakamura is a top singles guy.
True.
So when you put him with Cesaro, who's also a top singles guy.
But they can work well together.
Yes. They did lose a couple weeks ago on Raw, though, to the Private Party. Or not Private Party. Street Profits.
The Street Profits.
I'll get it. I'll figure it out.
They're in there somewhere. Those guys. It looks like Evil Bot's going with Cesaro and Nakamura also to win. And The Fiend says it's Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura retains because of the turmoil and hate between the Jobber House Party.
Jobber House Party.
As Kato says, I miss Sin Cara. Well, he's back and he's doing stuff in there. So if that's what you want to, watch, he's on there. He hasn't done a lot of wrestling, but he is there. So it's nice to see him back. All right, which one do you want to do next?
Probably another tag team.
Okay, so the Raw Tag Team Championship then?
Yes.
Okay. So the Raw Tag Team Championship match is the Street Profits, who are the champions, versus Andrade and Angel Garza. So I actually don't mind the Street Profits being the champions. I love them being the champions. They were the champions down in NXT for a really long time.
And without any other tag teams really in all of WWE except for maybe Heavy Machinery, it makes sense for them to keep
And now with poor Viking Raiders having one of theirs, out because of surgeries and stuff like that.
In his neck, he's going to be out for
at
minimum
least a year. I mean, or more. So,
That's terrifying.
That is majorly terrifying for him and his family and everything out there. I felt for him. So I'm not sure what they're doing with Andrade and Angel. I don't know if once Charlotte comes back, if Andrade is going to be more of a singles wrestler again, because he was a singles wrestler, with Zelina being his mouthpiece.
Yeah, but I don't think Charlotte has anything to do with that.
No.
Because they don't do anything with Charlotte.
No, but once Charlotte was kind of out, they kind of brought other people in with Andrade when she went out for surgery and stuff. I'm not saying that plays into it, but will it, are they going to be like the king and queen of WWE kind of shit? Or, I don't know. I'm speculating garbage here. This is just garbage. I really don't see that as a thing that's going to happen, by the way. I'm just throwing out conspiracy theories of wrestling because a lot of people like to do it. So.
I feel like Angel Garza and Andrade are breaking up and they're going to wrestle each other. And that's coming up soon. That might even be coming up at the next pay-per-view.
Right.
Hell in a Cell type stuff.
True. Yeah, but I'm going to say...
Will Zelina Vega be in their corner tonight? Will we see that again? Or is that kind of a thing of the past? That's kind of what we were talking about earlier.
Right.
If Zelina Vega's still with them, they're going to still kind of try to push that story. If Zelina's not, then I'm assuming they're going to break pretty quick.
Right.
And then they'll be wrestling each other for a storyline that's going to last us into the Royal Rumble or so. But I'm going to go with the Street Profits.
Yeah, that's who I'm going with. So I'm going to say that the Street Profits will retain. If anything, if they, if some fluke weird things happens that Angel and Andrade win, that's different.
It wouldn't be a fluke It's just they have to work together. If they can work together, they win.
Yes.
Andrade is a better singles wrestler than any of the two over there, and so is Angel.
Right. Looks like we have Brad in here with us. Hey, Brad.
Hey, Brad.
Good morning on our end. It is actually morning time. It is 9:16 a.m. for us.
You get to hang out with us and not wake up in the middle of the night. This is hella great.
So that is what we're doing. We're just doing our prediction show for Clash of Champions.
We're 3 matches in.
We're 3 matches in. If you want to join in for the rest of them.
We got 9 matches total, so we got 6 still to go through.
Yes. I think somebody earlier said that they were going with the Street Profits to win. That's what they said. Let's see. The Fiend's going with Angel and Garza because of what I said earlier. So
yes.
He's going with Angel and Andrade to win that because of everything happening with the gold stuff and thinking that they're going to be pushed.
Yes. Putting it all together.
Yes.
Zelina Vega is going to be the new Raw Women's Champion, and Andrade and Angel Garza is going to be the new Raw Tag Team Champions.
Right. Okay, which one do you want to do? The other tag team?
Well, let's do the female tag team.
Okay, that was what I asked if you wanted to do that. Okay, so we have the other tag team championship that's happening. So the women's tag team championship is also happening on Clash of Champions, and that's between Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, who are the champions, versus the Riot Squad.
How did we get here?
Oh my god. I do not want to do backstory, but Shayna and Nia Jax hate each other, but they put them together because they're like, we're working towards the same thing. We want a championship.
They have common enemies.
They have common enemies and common interests. And that was it. That was the grounds for why they became a team. And they really aren't a team. They literally fucking still hate each other. Yeah, they do not stay in the ring when they win together.
They hated the Golden Role Models so much that they joined forces.
To not be the Golden Role Model.
To be Sasha and Bailey. They took the titles from them, which also started the depletion of the Golden Role Models. But that's for another night. Anyways.
Okay. So
the Riot Squad put out the Iconics.
They did.
They retired the Iconics.
They made sure that they split them up, which was already probably in the works of splitting anyways. But they're like, let's have the Riot Squad, who's just trying to be friends, come out and do it.
Ruby Riot, Liv Morgan.
What a joke.
Now they're wearing matching outfits, so it's kind of fun, I guess.
Right. I guess. I think it's dumb as fuck.
Will they put the titles on there?
I just don't think they'll do it this time.
I'm not
saying that they don't. I'm not saying that they can't work towards it, but I get why they did it with Shayna and Nia, but I kind of like this little storyline they have going with Shayna and Nia. I think it's great, and I think they should continue to do it because it reminds me of, and I bet you anything, stupid fucking Daniel Bryan's behind this. Daniel Bryan and Kane. Right. They fucking hated each other, and they put them together as a fucking tag team, and made them work together, and Mr. No became Mr. Yes because of his positivity change in that whole instance. I'm not saying that's the same thing that's going to happen by any means, but it's the same concept. It's the same type of storyline happening again and again and again.
Right.
Not saying that, the Beast and the Weirdo, they're both mean and hate.
I'm definitely going to go out on a limb on this one.
You're going to go with the Riot Squad?
No, I'm going to stay with Shayna Baszler.
Oh, that's who I'm staying with. I am literally saying that they're going to retain their championship. I feel like that is going to
split right around after the Royal Rumble. I feel like they can keep those together for 6 months if they wanted to.
I think they can, and work that mean, angry, they're both mean and angry about everything.
And then split them, and then go ahead and send Shayna Baszler after the title around Mania time.
True. And then have the Riot Squad at that point still have that feud going and become the champions. Why not?
Yeah.
I don't see, at that point, I think there will be a more stronger...
Or there could be something else happening at that time. You
don't know.
But
I think at that point, there'll be a stronger tag team. They'll have a stronger look at stuff. They're just starting to be strong because they can always throw in that whole, we hate Liv, so we're going to get rid of her again crap. That everybody's little thing about, oh, poor Liv, she's so picked on. I'm sorry. Bitch, if you're not going to stand up for yourself, then you're not going to get shit. Go get a fucking agent then who fucking stands up for everything that you fucking want and is a tiger or a pit bull with a bone, whatever you want to call it, doesn't let go and gets you what you want.
Right. You
cannot be a pussy in this type of working atmosphere. You cannot. You cannot be the meek, mild little girl in the corner. You're mean to me. You don't let me have champion. Because we see what happens to those people. They disappear. So if you don't want to disappear, don't cry about it. Fucking pull on your big girl panties. Hey. Strap on your boots. And go to work.
And work.
Anyways, that's my take on it.
All right. Should we go with the U.S. Championship next?
Sure. That's the one you want to do. I don't care. So, the United States Championship. Yes. This is between Bobby Lashley, the champion, versus Apollo Crews. Now, this has been leading up to this for how long? Let me just see if anybody else has said anything. It looks like the Fiend's going with the Riot Squad. Let's see. Brad said it's about 4:16 p.m. there, so it's not too bad.
Heck yeah.
He can't believe that Sheamus doesn't have any pay-per-view matches.
Isn't that weird?
It is kind of weird. Let's see. Brad wants to know what our other ones are. Brad also says he's going with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler for the win. Let's see. No, let's see. I'm talking women's champions. I don't think. You shouldn't say that Asuka and Sunny are the best tag team. Oh. What's her face? The Fiend says, don't assume anything. Brad's like, Jesus, I want you as my agent.
Need a new agent.
But you know, but that's the stuff's kind of true. Okay, so put your big boy pants on, put your big girl panties on, whichever way you want to go with it.
Right.
You know, get your shit together. Fucking get whoever's gonna work for you, and instead of being the crybaby in the corner, fucking be the tiger that's ready to pounce. You know, it comes down to a lot of that.
She got tiger energy.
I don't know. I have no idea. I do not care.
It's a country song.
I do not care what she has in her pants, by the way. I do not swing that way. Let's see. So Brad wants to know what we kind of guess is our other one. So
let's start over.
So we'll go back just for real quick for Brad's sake. This is just a quick review of the last 4 matches of our predictions. Raw Women's Championship, which is going to be between Asuka and Zelina Vega. That is going to be the pre-show or the kickoff match. I went with Asuka. Travis went with Asuka. So that's who we're thinking that she's going to retain. Then we looked over the SmackDown Tag Team Championship between Cesaro and Shinsuke versus the Lucha House Party. I went with Cesaro and Shinsuke retain their titles, and Travis did the same. Then we went to the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza. I picked the Street Profits, the champions, to retain, and so did Travis. So we're kind of on the same page of who they're fighting, more along the lines of that they're retaining their championships because of that, not because of the fact that maybe those people don't have talent. That has nothing to do with it. It's more along the lines of other stories that are happening with them. They're imploding, like the Lucha House Party kind of imploding. Andrade and Angel Garza are kind of imploding a little bit.
Yeah,
the Riot Squad are kind of new and just kind of filling each other out, and they might be besties now and kissing each other in the back. I don't care. I don't know.
There's a lot of fractures going on in these matches.
But they're brand new, and when you have something new like that, things can happen that break it quite quickly, especially in WWE. So that's kind of where we're at. Okay, so now we're going to do the United States Championship. This is Bobby Lashley
in the Hurt Business
versus Apollo Crews. Bobby Lashley is the champion. He just became the champion, and I want him to stay the champion. I want Bobby Lashley to stay the United States champion for a while. I did not mind Apollo Crews as the champion, but I like a Bobby Lashley as a champion just because of everything that played up with the Lana thing and Rusev and all this stuff that's been happening for so long with Bobby Lashley, and it's about goddamn time
Bobby Lashley needs to be a champion.
A person of WWE that you go, oh my God, he's the champion.
I would like to see him be the world champion, but that's not happening tonight.
No. So I'm going with Bobby.
I really do like Apollo Crews.
I do too.
I have no problems with him.
I do not.
But I'm definitely going to go with Bobby Lashley. I don't feel like he's going to lose it so quick.
I kind of feel what they're doing with the Hurt Business. I say that right this time. Okay. The Hurt Business is that they are kind of trying to be like what's their face's Undisputed Era in NXT.
Right.
It's almost like they're trying to push that type of thing, except for every single one of their guys are very like singles wrestlers. Like not one of them.
There's no tag team.
Is a tag team type wrestler. Like even Cedric Alexander is not a tag team wrestler. He is an
he's
individual
more of a
wrestler.
205.
Benjamin Shelton is an individual wrestler.
Although he's
MVP,
been a tag team champion.
Right, but was it with a tag team that lasted for a very long time? Was it something that just got thrown together?
Him and Chad Gable. So they're both wrestlers collegiately.
So it got thrown together for a few seconds, and that was it.
Right. Normal.
I don't know about MVP, and I don't know his background, but I'm guessing just by the way he wrestles that he is definitely a singles wrestler.
Absolutely.
And we know that Bobby Lashley is too. He's never been somebody who plays well with others, kind of like Brock Lesnar. Oh, hey. That's who he reminds me of, and that's why I'm okay with him being a champion. So that's. That's kind of where I'm at. So that's why I'm picking Bobby Lashley. That's my
Bobby Lashley's just better. He's more athletic. He's stronger. Mm-hmm. He's bigger.
Right.
He's a veteran.
True.
Like there's nothing that he doesn't have. Now Apollo has a little bit more quickness.
He does.
But what's that going to get him? He's still got to get close enough to hit him.
Exactly.
And he's going to get put into full Nelson, and he's going to tap out or pass out.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Like. Unless there's a disqualification or something. But if it ends straight up, he's winning.
Right. So it looks like we do have Josh in the chat with us now. Hey Josh. How's it going this morning?
Thanks for hanging out with us.
We have Elvis in the chat. Hey, Elvis.
Elvis has entered the chat.
We have, let's see, who else? John Dwyer just happened to come in. Hey, John. And we've got Ayla in with us this morning.
Ayla's hanging out with us this morning.
She's
like, why are you on here early?
Brad says he loves the Hurt Business, and Kato says the Hurt Business, the new nation of domination.
Yeah.
Elvis is going with WWE equals Disney. Well, that's the PG era, and blame that on your children.
Can't blame it on your children.
If you're in the ages of 30 years old and below, it's your fault.
That they want the PG era?
The PG era is happening.
It's not a fault.
It is. It's that generational stuff of what they want. Everybody's offended. Everybody, you can't have this. That's offensive. And no. Oh, you'll hurt somebody's feeling of bullying and blood. That's how I feel. That's just my opinion. That's nobody else's opinion. Just mine. Just my opinion. And not all of them are that way. They were raised by different people that have different opinions, and maybe not all of them are that way, but a good percentage, unfortunately, of that generation
I
has
feel like
ruined
it's
it for the
them
rest of us.
capitalizing on that generation, not the generation's fault. There's a big difference.
True. Maybe.
That's how I look at it. They're capitalizing on the PG because they like the kids. They want kids to like John Cena. They want kids to like The Rock.
Right? Let's see. John Dwyer says World Title Ambulance match, Drew McIntyre SmackDown Universal match, Roman's the tag team titles. Yeah, that's a lot of matches that are happening. Yeah. We're going over most of them.
We'll get there.
Brad's like, yeah, now it's your guys' turn to be tired. Man, I'm not tired at all. I am pumped up, man. Can you tell? I haven't had coffee yet. I was going to drink coffee on our show, and I didn't even get it. It's like 10 in the morning where I'm
at. 9:30 in the morning. I'm fine.
We were up since 7, so we're fine. Let's see. It was like, wow, Dalethea, I'm offended. I know you are, and that's what totally is true. John saying, hey, Travis and Dalethea. Elvis is like, haha, I missed the cut. Just teach your children better. That's all I have to say.
Teach
your children. Don't let your teachers in school teach your children. You teach your children. That's all I have to say about that.
All right.
Let's see. Brad says rephrase that if you care and stuff like it's your fault. Let's see. Kato says, did you hear about The Rock appearing on Impact to induct Ken Shamrock?
I did hear that he's going to help induct Ken Shamrock. I did not see it, obviously, because I don't think it's happened yet, but I did hear something about it.
Yeah, so. He said, did you hear about The Rock appearing on Impact? Yeah. Probably going to appear, I'm guessing, to induct him.
Shamrock into their Hall of Fame.
Oh, well, that's really cool. Well, that's awesome of him. All right, which one do you want to do now, since we're done with those bottom
That would be
ones?
The Intercontinental Championship.
You ready for that one? All right. Intercontinental Championship, and this one has intrigues and conspiracy theories and
Kentuckians
and
Texans,
conspiracy theories all in it, and whatever. What else do you call that stuff? Where there's some kind of weird storylines, but nobody knows what's happening. Twists and turns. Okay, so it's between Jeff Hardy, the champion, versus
love romance, but without women.
Right. Versus it's for a belt. No really, homo. It's literally for a championship. The love for a championship. AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn. And this is the only match in Clash of Champions that's different. It is a ladder match.
It's the only one with no rules. The only way to win is to get on top of a ladder and grab both belts. And you have to grab both belts because they're going to unify them, I guess.
Yeah.
Which means that they think Sami Zayn is correct.
Right.
Because why else would they even think about putting his belt up there?
Right. Only because he's been throwing a hissy fit about it. He's like a little 3-year-old having a tantrum in the corner about it.
Is he under 30? Just kidding.
Probably.
All right, so
he probably is, or he's right at that cutoff. Maybe I should have said 35 because I think it's about
no,
I'm just kidding.
If you're under 50, fuck you. All right?
And that includes us, by the way. So we're not quite that old yet. We're in the we hate everything and we're offended. Hate everything, yes. Offended, no. I could give a crap about it. Anyway, so there's this huge thing, and I get it. Like, Jeff Hardy is like this druggy alcoholic, and he won it by, I hurt my knee, and then he had a brace put on and covered it with his pants, and then went out there and kicked AJ Styles as a weapon to beat him.
It started way back.
It did.
In history with that Rock MCA and Monty. Okay, anyway.
Way back in the days with the dinosaurs.
It started back. Sami Zayn decided to leave as champion. He wanted to take a break. He didn't want to be in wrestling anymore for a while.
This is when the asteroid hit the Earth.
Right. And so he ran and hid in Canada, probably. It would be my guess.
But they're all their little beady eyes and floppy heads.
They needed an Intercontinental Champion, so they made a tournament. Now, he calls it a makeshift tournament, a fab, like not a real tournament. Anyways, AJ Styles won that.
Yes.
AJ Styles was your champion.
He won it fair and square. There wasn't like any...
It was a big deal. Mm-hmm. AJ Styles won it. Actually, not even in a pay-per-view. I think it was the Friday before a pay-per-view. I was like, why did they not have that culminate in a pay-per-view? Anyways, and then AJ Styles lost it to a cheating Jeff Hardy.
Yes.
AJ Styles.
And a lot of people out there are very happy with Jeff Hardy being a champion.
I'm happy with Jeff Hardy.
I'm fine with Jeff Hardy being champion. I don't know him. I just think it's weird he came back and all of a sudden he's a champion. That part I kind of thought was a little awkward and weird.
He wasn't gone. He was wrestling with the whole alcoholic stuff for a while.
That's what I meant. He was gone. He wasn't in there. He wasn't really like wrestling though. He wasn't there wrestling and being part of this stuff.
He's a champion guy.
Basically,
but now he
Unicorn
gets to
Sprinkles
pick,
came up and he came in.
He gets to pick the matches.
Right.
Like, how did he get to pick his wheelhouse?
True.
That's like throwing a fastball down the middle to like Albert Pujols or something like.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden he's like, let's do a ladder match. So obviously it gives him a huge advantage.
Because he's the ladder match king, I guess.
Right.
Okay.
So after saying that he's got a huge advantage and he's going to win, I'm going to go with Sami Zayn.
And the reason why you're going with Sami Zayn is because I bet I can guess. Because Sami Zayn is a snake in the grass. That little bastard sits on the outside and lets those two dumbasses fight. Now, if AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy worked together to get rid of Sami Zayn and made sure he was hurt so bad that he couldn't participate a little bit, and then they fought each other, it might be a better match. And then Jeff Hardy would probably win. But somehow Sami would be like,
he's a snake. I'm going to
crawl
up to the top.
He'll probably go underneath the ring and come up through their little hatch that they have for the Fiend and the Undertaker. And he'll come up through there when nobody's paying attention, because the lights will go out because Retribution will show up or some shit. And he'll get up there and he'll climb up the ladder ring, get both of them to be like, "Baha, I told you I was the champion." Because he's a dirty, underhanded, slithery little
Speaking
slime.
Of Retribution, if they show up, then Bobby Lashley could possibly lose the title too.
Oh, that's
because
true.
that's where they're at with that. But I just don't see that.
I don't know if they would throw that in there for Clash of Champions for their pay-per-views.
Right.
I think at this point, I threw that in there because you never know, but I doubt for their pay-per-views that they're really going to be throwing Retribution in there.
I have a hard time seeing it until they get to the big ones,
right.
The Royal Rumble.
Right, until they have a little bit more clout with them, because at this point everybody hates them. Like even the people in the back think they're a joke. And they are a joke because if they hate WWE so bad, as the question goes, why did they sign a contract with them?
Yeah.
If you freaking hate them so bad, why are you working for them? Who are
you going with in this ladder match? I'm kind of excited to hear this.
Are you?
I mean, Jeff Hardy, it makes the most sense.
Okay, so everybody wants Jeff Hardy to win, by the way. Like,
right.
Our people in our chat are like, Jeff Hardy, it's going to be Jeff. It's going to be Jeff.
I figured that because, first of all, it's his wheelhouse. That's the only reason I'm not going with him is because it's his match.
Right.
So,
I like me some AJ Styles.
Absolutely.
And I would rather see AJ Styles win.
The only non-champion in the match right now.
So I think that he got fucked for the championship. Literally.
Well, of course, he got hit in the head with a knee brace.
And I think that Sami Zayn is a pissy little child who sits in the corner and cries about everything that doesn't work out for him.
Which one do you hate the most?
Sami Zayn.
So it makes the most sense for Sami Zayn to be champion.
I know. And everybody hates him, but a lot of people hate AJ Styles more than more than they do. A lot of people love Sami Zayn and, like, not love him, but like him more so and hate AJ Styles.
Right.
And then they love Jeff Hardy. So everybody loves Jeff Hardy as the champion because he's old school and he's been there for a while, and I get why everybody's a huge fan. And I'm not saying that I hate or like Jeff Hardy, by the way. I don't know his style enough to be like, oh yeah, I like him a lot.
He's a 20-year veteran.
You know, kind of stuff. You know, I don't like his face paint. I really don't like the whole persona thing.
Well, that's what everybody in here loves. Because they grew up watching that.
I know.
And you're talking about little kids.
And that part I just don't get.
Well, it's because you weren't in love with them when you were a child.
I mean, it's like, okay, and off subject of WWE, but going over to AEW with his brother Matt, okay, and watching the stuff that he did. Now, I didn't mind him doing his persona because it was funny, but he didn't really paint his face. I mean, to do it.
Right.
He just kind of would dress.
I don't think he ever painted his face.
You know, and he talked different. And I was like, and that's hilarious. And he's supposed to be like so awesome, and they made him out to be awesome.
He's 5,000 years old.
Right. And so then, then he became Matt Hardy, and that's it. And now he's kind of like me. But, he got kind of hurt, and he's taking his time, which is good. I'm glad that he is. I'm glad that they still keep him there, though. That's one thing about AEW. I'm kind of glad, they don't let him wrestle. They make sure that he's safe. But they have him still come out there as a person and a face and of a company, and that he's still there.
Right.
So that people don't go, well, where'd he go? I'm so
My
sorry.
big thing with AJ Styles is I said it 3 more times because I said it twice in a row for some reason. I feel like there's a draft coming up and he's getting away from Paul Heyman again. And so I don't feel like
I forgot about the whole Paul Heyman crap.
I don't feel like he's going to stay on SmackDown.
Maybe he knew, and that's why he's like, fuck all this. You write a storyline where I get fucked over and make it good, and I'm fucking leaving. I'm done. I'm leaving. All right. Well, let's go in with that. In all reality, that AJ Styles is a want, not this is what's going to happen. So I'm going to predict that Sami Zayn will win. Just because he's a freaking little bastard and I can't stand his dumbass. And I know that's why.
All right, what do we got left? 3?
Oh my God, we have 2 left. We have
3 left. So we have Nikki Cross and Bayley next.
3. So you want to do the women's championship? Yes. Okay. Let me see if anybody said anything about what they're wanting. Everybody said Jeff Hardy. John Dwight says my prediction for SmackDown UC ladder lap is Jeff Hardy. Brad said I'm going Hardy to rock up as the Willow for the nostalgia. Josh said Jeffrey, Nero, Hardy for me. Loving this unfiltered, I don't give a fuck attitude from mom and dad. This is jokes. Josh says, what matches are left?
We got 3 left.
We have 3 left. So
they're
3 left
all
are
championship matches.
The major main championship titles are what's left that we're going to go over.
We're going to do Bayley's title next.
Let's see.
Bayley, Nikki Cross. Now this one's going to be interesting.
Let's see. Josh is still a future Hall of Famer. Brad says, let's see. Elvis saying AJ and Jeff teaming up on Sammy.
It'd be great. I don't see it happening. I mean, they're going to do it at some point, but it's not going to be their game plan.
Right. Let's see. Josh says, I like AJ too, but Hardy needs to win. Josh says, right, hey, Travis, could we see some returns like Rude or Kofi? Not in Clash of Champions. I doubt we're going to see any kind of returns.
All that stuff I think will happen on a Monday.
Yeah,
so if that stuff happens, it'll be tomorrow night. And I would assume that stuff's coming. Like, we're going to see Bobby Roode at some point. They've opened the Canadian border.
Yeah.
That's happening.
Oh, yeah, it's happening. That definitely is happening. Josh wants to see some returns, but I just don't feel it's going to happen in Clash of Champions. That stuff's going to have to be played over time. Let's see.
And you can never say never. Right? I mean,
I'm not saying never. I'm just
where's
saying
Bobby Roode going to fit in at?
Right. I'm just saying that at this point, for Clash of Champions, the opening of the borders happened just barely. So that's not, I mean, they haven't had time to probably set up some, and they're probably in the works of setting up stuff. They're in talks. I mean, everybody thinks just because they're not on the scene doesn't mean that they aren't involved. Okay?
Glorious.
Just because these people, you don't see them on the TV every week, doesn't mean that they're gone, for one. It doesn't mean that WWE's people aren't in contact with it, because they're still technically under contract and they're still WWE.
I'm sure they're watching.
They're still WWE employees, or whatever you want to call them. And so they're still going to probably be talking, and once things start happening, like, okay, well, this is happening now let's start bringing you back. Let's do, what about these? And have multiple ideas of how they're going to bring that person back. I just doubt that it's going to be something that would happen at Clash of Champions, because it's what is Clash of Champions about, everybody? Tell it together, everybody. Champions!
And screwing them over.
Yeah, exactly. Or not screwing them over. Or all the jobbers, basically, all these people who got a chance for the last 2 weeks. All of a sudden, we've got this person got a chance and this person got a chance to get a freaking title match. And you're like, what the fuck? You know, so you know that it's like, this is a joke. I mean, I'm looking at this Clash of Champions, unfortunately, as a big, fat joke.
There's no matches that you like.
I mean, they're going to be good, some of them, but some of the people they put them together.
You're talking about Asuka and Zelina Vega.
Yeah, like that one. That's a joke.
Jay and Roman.
The Jay and Roman. It's a joke. You know, to me, it's a joke. All right. Anyways, so moving on from everybody and their stuff, we'll go on with the stuff. SmackDown Women's Championship. This is Bayley, who's the champion, versus Nikki Cross. Now, we know that this has been going on for quite a long time of hate and discontent between them. Nikki Cross is getting better and better with her stuff, and
at some point she has to win a match against Bayley. She's wrestled her umpteen times.
Yes, and she finally became a quote-unquote singles wrestler with her little split from Bliss Cross applesauce. Yep. Stopped happening. So we have none of that anymore. So I guess I just don't see Nikki winning this.
I feel like there's two storylines in two different places, and these guys are just meeting. Like, it's just kind of bumping because Cross and Bliss have to fight.
They have to have some kind of altercation at some point.
So it has nothing to do with the belt.
Right.
Or it can have something to do with the belt. But that would be to put the belt on Bliss, and I don't think they're ready for that quite yet.
Right.
And then that leaves Banks and Bayley.
Right.
And that's a bigger story.
Right.
It doesn't really need a belt.
No.
But somebody's got to be a champion. Like, they can't just give it up.
No.
And so I'm going to go with Bayley winning this.
Yeah. Well, pretty much my reasons also. I mean, there's just no... And don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of that. But I cannot see at this point Nikki Cross as a champion. I can't. I cannot for the life of me.
If they did it would just be for the short
term.
It'd
be like a fluke, weird, like, here, have it for a day, and the next day you lose it.
She gets to celebrate for a while, and then all of a sudden...
And I just think that would just be cruel, I guess. But, you know, WWE is cruel, so I guess it doesn't matter. I guess cruel. Then she can be like, oh my god, I was a champion for 2 seconds. It was awesome. Anyways,
Life's not fair.
Nobody ever said it was. And if you ever said or thought it was, then you need to get that F word out of your mind. Fair is not a good word to have.
The real F word.
The real F word. Yes. Josh said, Travis, you made my day. It's like throwing a fastball to Albert Pujols. LOL. Brad's like, Sheamus does Brock Lesnar and steals IC titles. You heard it here first, folks. Or Hardy gets beaten up, taken to the back, and comes back as Willow and wins. Okay. We have Anthony Manzano in the chat with us this morning. Hey, Anthony, how's it going? Says, hi, Gab. Gab, I think Nikki Cross needs to go back to NXT when the draft happens. They haven't used her... When the draft happens, because they haven't used her correctly since she debuted on the main roster. Okay, so the problem with that is that she was with Bliss, right? They were a huge tag team. They were besties. They did everything together. I mean, they hugged and kissed. And
I feel like it helped her confidence tremendously being with Alexa, and it changed her persona.
I think that's what they were going for.
And so now she can be a singles wrestler. So now, hopefully, we get what you wanted months ago. We're going to get from now forward.
Yes, because if you notice with Nikki, she started becoming into her own a little more with Bliss. Yeah. At first, she was very, like, shy.
She's learning the business from one of the best in the business.
Yes. And you have to remember that those are things that are happening, too. Like, I understand you want it to just be, like,
push her, make her champion.
Right fucking now. She was good there. She should be good here. You got to remember, NXT is small scale. NXT is tiny scale compared to Raw and SmackDown.
The crowds aren't big.
They're not big.
They're at the same place. You don't travel. Although they're not traveling now, so that's not a real
right.
excuse,
But anyways,
they were traveling.
That. What else is it? You are fighting against so many more personas in NXT. Because it is such a bigger environment. You have way more women in NXT on their roster that are actively wrestling and actively doing stuff than you do in Raw and SmackDown. You kind of can get lost if you have somebody who is a bigger persona than you and gets pushed. And your fan base for those people aren't going to be as widespread as they are on Raw and SmackDown. Raw and SmackDown, when you're on Raw and SmackDown and you're on there enough times, you become that person that people start looking up. Whether you're a hardcore fan of wrestling or you're a newbie to wrestling being a fan, you will then start looking, hey, you know what? Wow, I've noticed this girl with Bliss. Where'd she come from? Because some people don't watch NXT.
Right.
You have to remember that
there's a lot of people that don't watch NXT.
Right.
You look at their ratings, it's pretty low.
There's a lot of fans of WWE of wrestling that do not watch NXT at all. And some of you don't even watch SmackDown. Some of you only watch Raw. Some of you only watch SmackDown. So you got to remember that there are people out there that just don't watch all of it. So they aren't going to know. You're going to know this person. So if you watch them in NXT, that's great. And you're like, oh, why'd they do this to him? You have to remember that they may have been top in NXT, but when they come over, they're bottom. When you're working in any kind of business or corporation or anything, you got to remember that you're the peon. You're going to get the shit that rolls down the ladder. You're going to have to cling to that ladder and work your ass off to work your way up. And if you want to be the person that is the person that they go, you know what? We're going to push you. We're going to put you in the spotlight of stuff. You have to work at it. And that's what Nikki Cross has done. Nikki Cross in real life, I bet you, isn't the way she is. I bet you she doesn't go around beating her chest, running at people, screaming and yelling at them with her accent, making people feel uncomfortable. I highly doubt she does that, but she's built up this persona now that she's this, I am an angry, is she Irish? Scottish? I'm this angry Scottish lass who's out here. Well, who does it remind you of? Not quite like Becky Lynch.
No.
But in that type of area. So she's becoming her own type of personality in person with wrestling.
But it's taken time. Good. She had to work with Bliss for a while.
It had to take time because that doesn't happen overnight, no matter what, unless that person is very confident of themselves. She has to
build her confidence, yes.
Yeah, and stuff. And Nikki Cross never seemed like the type of person that
She's not Montez Ford.
No, that guy, I mean, he could walk into any room and probably be like, yeah, I got this.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, I could wear a suit and a tie, and I could wear street clothes and be fine. Whichever way it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So, yeah. Anyways, but that's just my outlook of the whole Nikki Cross thing. So I don't want to see her go backwards. I want to see her go forwards, Anthony. So that's where I want to see her go. So so that's just, my idea. Anyways, we have Janelle in a chat tonight. Hey, Janelle, how's it going? Or this morning. I don't know where I'm at or what I'm doing.
What time is it?
Brad's like, I won't be able to join your Sunday stream as I'm watching it on my phone. If I'll say hi and stuff. Sorry. No, watch it. That's awesome, dude.
Watch the show.
Yeah, if you can come in and join us for a few seconds, that's great. If not, that's all right. Anthony says, how should they book Nikki from now on, in your guys' honest opinions? Should she be a face or a heel or a tweener?
I think she should just be, what you would call a tweener.
I think so too.
Just beat up anybody.
I think she could be both.
Like a Randy Orton type. Only a few people can pull that off.
Yeah, like Lacey Evans can pull that off. Like Lacey Evans can be a bitch and be nice to you at the same time. It's hilarious, and that's the only the thing about Lacey Evans' character persona that I'm glad they've kept it, and she does so well at it.
I feel like they're going to push.
If they ever took it away from her, I just don't know how I'd feel about that.
I feel like they'll push Cross as a babyface for a while.
I think they will because of what's happening with Bliss. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason why I think they'll try to push her as a nice girl and a nicey nice and stuff. But she gets angry.
Yep.
And I think they're going to have to utilize that smoldering, that part of her as a better thing. But, that's just me. All right, should we move on to our other championships?
Yeah, did you pick a winner on that one?
I did. I picked Bayley.
Awesome.
I'm picking Bayley that she's going to retain.
Okay.
Because that's just how it is.
All right, let's go with the... I have a feeling they're going to close this down with Jey Uso and Roman, so let's go with the ambulance match. Oh, that's another one that doesn't have rules.
Oh, ambulance match. I didn't say it was an ambulance match, but I will put ambulance. I forgot that one didn't have rules either.
All right. We got Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton.
Yeah, this is the WWE Championship ambulance match. Once again, I forgot that one didn't have rules, but yes, that one.
Obviously, this has been in the works for a while after, 3 kicks to the head, broken jaws, claymores.
Right, so we know that Drew and Randy...
Keith Lee was thrown in here for a while.
And then Randy got rid of him.
Kicking him in the head.
And then, of course, Keith Lee and Drew were supposed to be good friends, and that didn't work out as well as Keith Lee thought it would. Kind of fractured
their friendship a little bit.
I think Keith Lee was hoping that would kind of pull off a little more, but it didn't. Which is weird that they brought him over for that type of thing. I don't understand.
That's not why they brought him over. They brought him over to be the top babyface in the company. They've got to get a way to inject him into the spot. And right now they've got Randy and Drew, and so I feel like Keith's next.
Yeah.
Keith's at the next pay-per-view facing the winner of this match.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so my problem with this is I really like Randy Orton.
Absolutely.
I like him a lot. Like, I probably have liked him since I'm like, oh, he's kind of a mean asshole, and then he's like kind of not, and you're just like, oh, okay.
He can play them both.
He kind of is nice to some people. Like, sometimes he does this thing where he's just kind of like, yeah, whatever. And he's like nice to you for a while, and then he's mean to you. And I look at that as like, that's real life situations right there. Who hurt you? No, I'm just kidding. But I would rather see Randy Orton as a WWE champion, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
You want to see it 14 times?
I would rather him be, but I think they're going to. He's what they call the legend killer.
Yep, absolutely.
So are they gonna are they gonna retire the legend killer? Like he can't kill Drew McIntyre because Drew McIntyre's not a legend. Well, he's not going to be a legend for another 20 years.
He was the legend killer years and years and years and years ago, and then he just kind of picked it up again. I mean, that can go into hibernation. He doesn't have to be killing legends every week.
So do you think that he's going to lose against old Drew?
I feel like he could win, and if he wins, then he's going to be wrestling Keith Lee at the next pay-per-view and losing. And then that's how they put the belt on Lee. Now, the point I'm making is are they ready to put the company on Lee's shoulders? Can Lee carry the WWE?
Right.
Right now, it's not so heavy with everybody being around, but they're planning on traveling at the end of October.
True.
Like, they're planning on traveling in November, December, January.
And can they...
can he carry the company?
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting
While
at.
they're on the road.
Is it going to sell tickets? And I say yes, because the company's name's going to sell the tickets.
Right.
But if you have a champion that can sell tickets, you're selling more.
You're selling twice as many because
if
people want to see that person.
But they might not need to sell twice as many right now. So I feel like now's the time to do it because then there's not a lot of pressure to sell because the company's going to sell as many tickets as the stadium can hold.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Now, if it was a full open stadium, then it's a different story. Then you've got to put it on somebody that can sell tickets to those big crowds.
Right.
But right now, nowhere in America is selling sold out stadiums. It's just not happening.
Right. Yeah. And it's not because I don't like Drew McIntyre, by the way.
So are you going with Randy?
I'm okay with Drew McIntyre. I like Drew McIntyre. I just don't know how to feel about him as a champion. Like, he's very boring. That's the only word.
Don't tell that to Pepper.
I know. It's the only word that I can use to describe it.
It's not exciting, and you don't care who the champion is right now. Like, it's just not. It's not a main event.
When Brock Lesnar was the WWE Championship,
this match would be the last match of the night.
You could feel like the hate
and the energy.
energy of even if it was still computer people out there, you could feel that. You know, I mean, we bring him up in our chat, people are like, oh, look at him, you know, I mean, everybody just goes bonker butts because they hate him so much. I mean, it's a deep-seated hate,
which brings out
other
which
emotions.
brings people to watch it.
Right, because I don't want him to win, that bastard. You know, and I don't feel that way about Drew McIntyre. I do not feel a real like, oh my God, he's like the best champion ever, or oh
well,
my God,
what we're talking about, because I'm sitting here
lose.
going, well, if Randy wins, that's fine. If Drew wins, it's fine. Like,
exactly.
There's no excitement there.
Like, I'm totally on the fence about it. Like, it's just like... ugh.
But if Brock was there, you could say, I hate him, I don't want him to be there. Which is also... But it's a stronger emotion than just, I don't care.
Or, I love this guy because he's so mean, I want him to win.
Right.
You know, kind of stuff. Like, that's why I like Bobby Lashley being the champion. Because...
It's always hard to replace the guy.
I don't hate Bobby Lashley. I love Bobby Lashley.
The guy that replaced
mean.
Derek Jeter, right? Like,
right.
Like people, is named DG Gregorius or whatever.
He's not
I know who
the
he
same.
is. But even New York fans, you replace Jeter, like you're nothing. You know, it's like is that what McIntyre is now?
No,
Did he
is his own champion, and
right,
I just feel he hasn't really made his place as champion yet.
And so you just want to keep it on him until somehow this makes itself?
I don't think so. I just don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like you would think at some point I don't know. That's why I said I'm just so like the the whole
because
thing just
is not exciting.
And
I like him, by the way. By the way, I'm going with McIntyre.
Like I said, I don't not like him. That's the point. I like Drew and I like Randy.
It's just like vanilla ice cream. Like I like it.
Yeah, but it's not.
Sometimes I don't like vanilla ice cream.
Sometimes I don't want vanilla ice cream. Sometimes I would rather have my favorite ice cream.
Rocky Road, or what's
Drew
that?
is not my favorite.
What's the druggy guy the Grateful Dead? Jerry Garcia or something like that.
The Cherry Garcia. Instead, I would rather have chocolate peanut butter ice cream. Let's see. So I'm gonna.
Just go with whoever.
It's an ambulance match, and I feel like
you have to throw him in the ambulance, shut the door, and then it drives off, and you win.
Right.
That's how you win. Just shut the door. They have to be thrown in the back.
Right.
So I mean, he could hypothetically chain him up and throw him in there, and he couldn't get out. Or it's like a last man standing match. One time, John Cena took Bray Wyatt and threw him down. And he was in a box, and then he covered him with other boxes. Mm-hmm. So there's no way he could get up, and that's how he won the last man standing match.
Right.
You don't always have to win, straight up 1, 2, 3.
Right. Well, no, I get that. Let's see. I'm sorry, this is taking me a longer time than it should for this.
Just go with it.
I'll go with something different. I'm gonna go with Randy.
There you go.
I'll go with Randy is gonna win. All right.
And that leads us to the main event.
Oh my God.
The build up for The Rock.
Let me see if anybody had anything to say on this. Josh is going with Drew. Brad is going with Team UK. Let's get a Drew. And he says, I think they should call up Killian Dane and pair him up with Nikki Cross. I think they should just do their own things, but that's just my opinion.
Put Killian with Eric and get the Viking Raiders going again. I think that would work. I honestly think it would work.
Josh is like, because I want to see Drew versus Alistair for the next title. Yeah, the problem with that, Josh, is Alistair Black and Kevin Owens are having a huge feud right now, so I don't think that's going to happen too soon with anything with Drew and Alistair. Janelle says, what if WWE wants to give Nikki Cross a title run? Oh, they could.
There you go. And that would be
that
fine.
Can happen. It's just, I don't feel it's going to happen this weekend. I'm not saying that she still isn't in the running for getting a title run. I'm just saying that
she could win that match simply.
She could.
That could happen. That wouldn't be. That's a 60-40 for me. That's not 100% that Bayley's going to win that one.
Right. Well, and it's true. I mean, because they could pull that out, and that could be what it is. But is she ready to defend that title against all the other people?
No, she'll lose to Bliss. That would be the whole purpose of it.
Exactly. Anthony says, I'm predicting that there's going to be a non-finished ambulance match. Retribution is going to be interfering in that match, and it's going to reveal that Keith is leading Retribution.
Oh, that would be interesting. That would be a way to put it.
Let's see.
I love fantasy booking. It's my fave.
Let's see. I guess Brad changed his name again. Now Brad is the Nugget Lord. Anyways, he says Team UK pulling up overseas. Sheamus, Drake, Maverick, Paige, Nikki Cross, Drew McIntyre, and so much more. We have Jacob Hagin in the chat. Hey, Jacob says, who's going to win the AJ, Jeff, and Sammy? Well, our prediction on that one just is
Sammy. I'm going with Sami Zayn.
And that's who I picked.
But he's not my favorite.
No, by any means.
He's just the favorite.
Right, yeah. Josh Leather King changed my mind. It's going to be a crappy finish. I'm going with Randy, but doesn't win the title. Randy will win via DQ by Retribution interfering. Alrighty then.
Right. The problem with that is that there's no DQs.
Yeah, there's no DQs. It's an ambulance match.
So... I mean, they could make it a no decision, I guess, like it never happened.
Right.
But that just seems like a weird way to end it. Like,
right. Yeah.
But anyways.
Elvis says Randy's boring too.
Yes.
Jacob says I'm going with RKO. And he says, you remember the promo a few weeks ago with Ric Flair saying he'd rather have Randy break his record than John Cena? Do you think that was genuine or was that just part of the promo?
I think it was genuine it was part of the promo.
But I think he genuinely would be fine with it. I mean, it's Ric Flair. Let's see.
But Randy's got a long ways to go to get that many more titles. He'd have to win 3 more titles.
Well, Elvis, I'm really sorry about your fish, dude. That sucks that your fish just died.
Oh!
Sad.
Did it drown?
It probably did. Damn stupid. Fish drowning in their own sorrows. And he says the rules of an ambulance match, you have to incapacitate your opponent to the point where he can't stand up, and you have to put him on a stretcher and put them in the ambulance.
Yes, that's why I said maybe tape.
Right. Something. Anyways, okay, so that's that. We have one more to go over. Universal Championship, Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. And I'm just going to put mine down now, and I'm not going to talk about it because I hate both of them. And Roman's going to retain, and I'm done.
What do you mean you hate both of them?
I don't really like Jey Uso. I don't like the Usos.
You don't like the Usos?
I've never liked them.
What the
I've never been a fan of them.
I feel like the Usos are one of the top 3 tag teams in the world.
I didn't say they weren't a good tag team. I just said I don't really like them.
The Uso Penitentiary. No, to me, this is the same thing as Zelina Vega and Asuka.
Right. Brad says, guys, I've got to go in 10 minutes. How long is the rest of the stream? We're going to be done in just a few.
We're going to be done in 10 minutes, trust me.
Yeah, we'll be done.
So basically, I'm looking at this as the same way as Asuka and Zelina Vega. The only thing is I feel like this is going to build to something else, bigger.
Right.
And that's why they're having it, and that's why it'll also be the last match.
Right.
So will The Rock be there?
I don't know. I mean, everybody in here has said something about it. Like, The Rock's totally going to be there. Have you heard that's probably what they're going to do? They're going to totally
he could appear on the Big Tron or something.
Yeah, he doesn't have to be there.
It's so weird for me to, like, I feel like I'm jumping in with everybody else, but it's the only thing that this makes sense to.
Right. Yeah.
There's nothing else this makes sense to.
Well, it's not like they're going to, I just don't think that they're going to have Jey win it, though.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, he can win the match, but not the title.
Right. I'm saying that Roman's going to retain. That's all it is. I don't care who wins. Like, I don't care who wins the match. I'm saying that
Roman's going to
the title's not going to change. Roman's going to walk out with the championship still.
Right.
So you're going to say Roman also?
Well, Roman's going to be champion at the end of the night. Now, I mean, you could have something weird happen here. I'm just going to throw out some fantasy stuff for a while because you're not talking.
Okay, Brad's wanted The Rock is going to be where. Okay, so this is just speculation. This is not real.
Facts.
There's no facts for this. There's nothing online giving backup for this.
They're talking about family. I'm the best in the family. I'm the best in the family for Roman.
Yes.
And then Jay's like, well, I want to be up there. I want to sit at the head of the table of the family. Well, who's in the family?
Right. And then they show all their dads. You know, they've shown the Usos' dad. They've shown Roman Reigns' dad. They've shown their uncles. They've shown The Rock's dad. They've shown their grandfather. I mean, they've shown the whole Samoan family that's been in WWE because whether or not they're blood related, they're what they consider family.
Right. Family. Well, who's really the head of that family? Who's really at the head of that table?
Yeah.
That's The Rock.
Right. At this point.
But Roman's saying that he is.
Right.
And that's where I feel like that friction's coming. Mm-hmm. And The Rock's hinted at it. Like, they gave an interview just last week and he hinted at it. So it could definitely go that route. Another way that it could go, I'm going to throw this out there, is Paul Heyman is standing there kicks Roman in the balls and Brock's music hits or something. They could do something crazy like that, and then all of a sudden now you got Brock over there, which is weird because I feel like he's more of a Raw guy, but it could happen. Anyways, that's just my 2 cents.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, that, like we said, that is just a...
But then all of a sudden that switches Roman to a face. And I don't think they're ready to go that way.
They're not ready for that because everybody hates him so much. They're better off having him as a bad guy.
They could do the old Hulkamania stuff, right? Like, so Roman turns on Heyman and starts beating Heyman up, and then Brock comes down. And then that turns Roman into a bigger heel and Brock into a face.
Kind of a face. I don't know if you could turn Brock into a major face. Like,
it wouldn't be a major face.
He could be like a Randy Orton face, maybe.
But the bullying would have to become intense first, and then a beat down, and then Brock come and save him. But that's how you put somebody over in wrestling. That's the old way to do it.
Right.
But anyways, yeah, this one, it's funny because there's not a lot to say. I mean, the build up to this is basically Jimmy and Jay, best tag team in the world. They break up because of an injury. They're not broken up by any means.
Right.
There's an injury. So Jay, they want to put him on TV. It sets up for something else.
Because he needs to work, I'm sure, and he's ready.
You know, Roman's wrestling him because he's his cousin. It's the only reason he's in this match.
And we haven't seen Naomi for a while, so you have to wonder if they took turns.
Yeah, I
being on screen or
I
not.
have no idea what's happening there. But anyways, and then Roman's back. He's champion. He hasn't even been in a full match yet.
Right.
And so this will be his first full match back. Because even when he won the title, he wasn't even out there.
No, he just came down after the fact.
And so...
Like, oh, I'm late. Sorry, my bad.
And then last night on Friday, he knocked out Jay with a Superman punch as they went off the air.
Yeah.
And he said that, you know, he's the head of the family.
Yeah.
And he's got to feed his kids and his kids and his kids and his kids.
Everybody.
He's got to feed everybody's kids with his belt. So.
Right.
Because I guess the title feeds you.
He's the new Heath Ledger. Heath Slater. He's the new Heath Slater. He has kids. Okay, so that is the end of our predictions. We will go over them again on Sunday before we start our show. We'll run over...
Want to go through them real fast?
No, I don't want to read it again. And we've been on for almost an hour. Do you want me... seriously?
Well,
oh my God, you're such a whiny bitch. Yeah, he's not a morning person. Let's see. WWE Championship, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. I picked Randy, Travis picked Drew. Universal Championship, Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. I picked Roman, Travis picked Roman. Intercontinental Championship, Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn. I picked Sami Zayn and Travis picked Sami Zayn. SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley versus Nikki Cross. I picked Bayley and Travis picked Bayley to retain. Women's Tag Team Championship, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus the Riot Squad. I picked Nia and Shayna to retain, and Travis picked Nia and Shayna to retain. Raw Tag Team Championships, the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza. We both picked the Street Profits to retain that title. The United States Championship, Bobby Lashley versus Apollo Crews. We both picked Bobby Lashley to retain. Raw Women's Championship, Asuka versus Zelina Vega. We both picked Asuka to retain that title and win. SmackDown Tag Team Championship, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Lucha House Party. We both picked Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura to retain the titles. So, that is basically what we have.
A quick rundown.
Yes. And we'll go over them again on Sunday, which is tomorrow for us. Maybe not for everybody out there, but that's it. Okay, anybody say anything else? Let's see. Anthony says, I still think there's going to be something suspicious going on in a Roman and G match. And this is Jay match, and this is going to be a way to turn both Jimmy and Jay heel and pair them with Roman as a stable.
Simone stable?
I think...
Why not?
I could see that, I guess, to a certain degree, but I don't agree. I don't agree that Jay and... Jimmy Uso would want to...
Why would Roman Superman punch him?
And then want to be his friend.
And then why would Jay want to be his friend? That would be my only little thing in
there. I think that they're making Roman like a Brock Lesnar, but he will never be able to fill that type of pants. But whatever.
He's a big dude. He's physical.
Yeah, but he's
got the mouthpiece.
Weenie. That he doesn't even let talk. He does it for him. It's so dumb. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Josh is like, I'm saying Roman too. Elvis is gone. The Otis will cash in. That'll be interesting. Let's see. Brad had said, good point. Then Nia Jax rocks up and wins the Universal title. Haha. Josh says, I hope Rock wins the Rumble. I don't think he'll be at the Rumble, but we can always look forward to that later on in the world. Brad says, I think we all know Roman is going to win, but that 1% Jay could win. Worth watching.
The 0.01%. Just kidding.
Elvis is like, gotta pawn that belt. Brad says, bye guys, have a great day. Yep, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's see, Josh says, I picked Roman, Randy, Jeff, Bailey, Nia, and Shayna, Andrade Garza, Bobby, Asuka, Shinsuke, and Cesaro.
Good picks.
Good deal. Okay, so we're done for today. Everybody have a great rest of your weekend. We will see you tomorrow.
We will see you guys tomorrow.
Clash of Champions pay-per-view at what time?
It'll be 6 p.m. Eastern.
That is the whole starting of it?
That's the
or is that the pre-show
start.
too? Okay,
yeah.
So the pre-show
It'll probably be right around 6:30 when we get on.
So yeah, we usually don't get on right at the beginning
with all the talking. But I mean, we can get on a few minutes early.
We'll be watching to make sure that if the matches start we'll be there for that.
We'll be live for the matches.
So we'll be there around that time, but we'll probably start the stream to start at that time.
At 6 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. probably.
Yes.
Eastern time.
Yes.
All right, everybody. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching our prediction show, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Thanks for watching Wrestling Gab. Bye-bye.
Bye.